Let's figure out what happens when we multiply a negative number by a positive number. And let's start by thinking about what happens when we multiply a negative number by a whole number. Let's say we want to find negative 5 times positive 3. Well, remember the way that we defined positive 5 times positive 3. We said that multiplication is just a process of repeated addition. To multiply a negative number by a positive number, we'll follow that same process of repeated addition. And what will negative 5 plus negative 5 plus negative 5 be? Well, negative 5 plus negative 5. Those have the same sign, both negative. So the result will be negative. The operation we want is addition. So 5 plus 5 is 10. Negative 10 plus negative 5. Same sign, so the result will also have that sign, negative. Same sign, so the operation we want is addition. 10 plus 5 is 15. Notice that negative 5 times 3 ended up being just the opposite of 5 times 3. Now, rather than go through the whole construction of multiplication for decimals and fractions all over again, be aware that we could follow that whole process again to get any negative number times any positive number. To multiply any negative number times any positive number, we'll multiply the absolute values, that is, the positive versions of the two numbers, and then the result is a negative number. What about the other way around? What if the negative number comes second? Well, multiplication is commutative, so we can always switch the numbers around. That's what commutative means. So we'll multiply a positive number by a negative number the same way. So let's just try a couple of examples of this. If we multiply negative 25 times 102, the result is going to be negative, ignoring the signs. 102 times 25. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. 5 times 1 is 5. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 1 is 2. 2,550. Same thing holds if we have decimals or fractions. So if we have, say, 3/5 times negative 11/9, that's a positive number times a negative number is a negative number. 3 times 11 over 5 times 9. I see a common factor of 3. Canceling out a 3, I get negative 11 over 5 times 3 is 15. So my result is negative 11/15. Let me give you a couple of these to try as well. Multiply 35 times negative 84 and multiply negative 2.6 times 1.2. Pause the video and try these now. Alright, so positive times negative, so the answer is negative. 35 times 84. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 3 is 12, 13, 14. 8 times 5 is 40. 8 times 3 is 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. The answer is negative 2,940. Negative 2.6 times positive 1.2. Negative times positive, so the answer is negative. 2.6 times 1.2. Ignore the decimal points and multiply. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 2 is 4, and 1 is 5. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. Add them up. And then I want 2 digits after the decimal point. 3.12.